JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 2nd of November 2020. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So, quick update on what's happening here with the markets. Now, the first one I want to pick up here is the German DAX. So the index is popping higher today. So that's what I was talking about this morning. Basically, what I was saying, that if it manages to climb back above this little hurdle right here, which is roughly between the 11,575 and the 11,600 levels, then yes, there is a possibility for this one to go for a bit of a larger correction to the upside. And the reason why I'm saying correction is because don't get me wrong, we are still kind of, if we are trading below a downside line here. Now, don't get me wrong, it might be a tentative one, but nevertheless a downside resistance line taken from the high of the 19th of October. So in a way, this is the area where it could still travel higher to. And we do have a bunch of obstacles here. For example, one of the levels to keep an eye on is the low of the 25th of June, which is around the 11,957 mark right here. So basically, what could happen here, we could see this one drifting a little bit to the upside here and then reversing lower if this little short-term tentative downside line provides decent resistance. For now, like I said, let's keep an eye on this one. It's quite interesting. The index is correcting to the upside, and also, by the way, what we could do here is draw ourselves a nice Fibonacci and basically capturing that high and drawing it up until the recent low. And you can see that, for example, here the high of the 28th of October comes in perfectly with the 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. So this basically level could be a nice one to keep an eye on. But if it pushes further north, then of course, yes, this level here, the 11,957, which is not far from around the midpoint between the Fibonacci levels here, and of course, the 38.2% retracement here could be tested as well. But again, first, let's keep an eye on this one right here, the 23.6% retracement, and then let's take it from there. Because if we get a nice push further north, then yes, I'll aim for these slightly higher levels, but I'll pick up on that again if we see such a move here to the upside. For now, the index is making this nice little correction. So let's see how far this correction can be taken to. Now, NASDAQ 100. Now here the index is at a very interesting spot here as well. So last week, if you remember, we saw this index here closing heavily in the red, but as you can see, this 100-day EMA shown as the green line did provide a decent support. Here right now we can also draw a nice tentative downside resistance line here, taken from the high of the 13th of October. And by the way, probably not even a tentative one, could be a decent one. So but still, the more important thing here is to keep an eye on this downside line, and the fact that looking at the cash index right now, because the NASDAQ is not open yet, so it's going to be open soon in about 8 minutes. The index The index is currently trading near the 11,100, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 50 or 11,145 territory. So basically, it's sitting above Friday's close, so that's great news. So in a way, also we could see maybe a bit of a corrective move here to the upside. However, yep, keep your eyes on this downside line, because if it provides good resistance, then yep, another slide here could be possible. So basically, keep your eyes on this low here, because that's for those who are a little bit more on the cautious side. A nice good drop below the 10,960 zone, which is the low of last week, could open the door towards further declines, and in a way that would be seen as a nice a forthcoming lower low here, and more sellers could be joining in. But at the moment, where's my arrow? Let me just quickly grab my arrow here. At the moment, the idea that I'm going to consider is this one right here, basically. So like I said, going for a bit of a corrective move here to the upside towards this downside line, and then I'll take it from there, because if that downside line gets broken and the price pops above the high of the 29th of October here near the 11,467, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. So keep your eyes on that one. Another index here, and that one is the dollar index. So you can see that the index is pushing nicely to the upside. So for now, everything's kind of working out according to the plan here. And if you remember, last week and this morning, I talked about this one, and I said that my plan is right now to aim for the 94.65 territory. Of course, initially the target will be this 100-day EMA shown as the green line, but slightly above it we do have this nice 94.65 level, which marks the lowest point of March here, and also has been seen kind of marking the high, was marked near the high of the near the highest point of September. There we go. I managed to squeeze that one out of myself. There we go. Like I said, that's the level that I'm going to be aiming here for now, especially if the price continues to float above this 93.90 level. So guys, be very careful. If suddenly this drops back below this area, this highlighted area, well, all this area here will be somewhat of a neutral one, even though we are still above this little short-term tentative upside support line. So, but I'll take a bit of a neutral stand here, and I'll just wait for a clear indication of what it wants to do further. Now, silver. Silver is holding on here, and last week I've talked about silver, and basically what I was saying that yes, we saw a bit of a corrective move here on Friday. So yes, we could see a continuation move higher, which we did today, but this is the idea that I'm going to stick to at the moment. If the price will continue trading below the 21-day EMA or below this 24 territory. So if it struggles to overcome this zone, then yes, that's my main scenario where we could see another slide here. If you're more on the cautious side, wait for a drop below the 22.89 zone. But if you're, like I said, if you're a little bit on the riskier side, you could keep an eye on this idea here. But of course, as always, guys, have your stop loss in place. So that's, I cannot stress that enough. The upside scenario for me could come on a break of the 25.24 level right here, and ideally I would like to see a daily candle staying, the body of the daily candle staying above this area, because as you can see, we kind of got one overshoot here on the 12th of October, so I don't want to see something like that again. So that's why I would prefer to see daily candle staying above this 25.24 level in order to aim for some higher levels. Ethereum. So Ethereum is kind of drifting lower, so it got a hold up near this 395 zone, and now it's drifting to the downside, of course, not without the help of the strengthening US dollar, of course. Here of course I'm talking about the Ethereum ETH against USD. So at the moment, guys, if this crypto will stay below this 395 territory, then, well, to be honest, the main scenario for me will be aiming for this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of March, and then of course I'll take it from there. But at the moment, like I said, that's the kind of game plan. Let's see how far this is going to travel. But if it somehow manages to get back above the 395 territory right here, now this is maybe we could consider an up move here, but yeah, probably the more comfortable level still would remain this one, the highest point of October near the 421.40 zone. And then yes, of course, on a break of this level, the crypto would confirm a forthcoming higher high and more buyers could be joining in. So that's why here, guys, be very careful. Be very cautious, and yes, if it travels back above the 395 territory, yes, we could start looking at some higher levels, but ideally I would prefer to maybe see a push above the 421.40 zone right here, which is the highest point of October. Now jumping into a few pairs, AUDUSD, and we're having a nice rebound today. So on AUDUSD, however, that doesn't mean that from here it's gonna just start drifting higher and higher. Still, don't get me wrong, we're still seem to be forming a potential descending triangle here. So basically, according to all the TA rules, you understand that these tend to break to the downside. However, we cannot really talk about the downside yet until we see a nice good drop below the 0.7006 level right here, guys. So, and to be honest, ideally I would like to see a nice daily candle kind of staying below it. So we're not there yet. We're not really kind of pleasing the bulls here as well, because still this could travel a little bit higher, find resistance somewhere near the 21-day EMA, as it did here on the 23rd, 23rd, 27th, 28th, and 29th of October, and then reverse back down. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys, in order to consider the upside. Now, previously I talked about this 0.7192 level, but given that we've shifted a little bit more to the right, now I'm going to keep an eye on this barrier right here, the 0.7158 territory, marked by the high of the 23rd of October here. So a nice good pop above it, in a way, could open the door towards higher levels, guys, and then yes, we could take it from there. But in the moment, we're closer to this barrier right here, this hurdle near the 0.70 zone, and of course it seems like we are forming a nice descending triangle as well, so keep that in mind. USDCAD, so USDCAD moving to the downside. So here, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check something very quickly, guys. Not this one right here, so just a second. Okay, so we did get some data, didn't no. Okay, so we are having the manufacturing PMI figures coming out from Canada in a minute. So let's see how that's going to play out, of course. But at the moment, looking at this technical picture, I mean, it seems to be working out nicely according to the plan that I talked about last week on this one. Basically, what I was saying, that if this barrier continues to provide somehow resistance, this 1.3340, then yes, we could see a bit of a correction to the downside here, and then yes, a move lower here could be possible here, where my target will be somewhere near the 1.3240 zone right here, and then of course I'll take it from there. But at the moment, basically we had the RBC manufacturing PMI figure coming out, and that came out at 55.5. Of course, that's a little bit worse than the previous number, however, still on the positive note. So in a way, there is a chance for the Canadian dollar to continue strengthening against this US counterpart. And yeah, for now, the idea that I'm going to keep in mind is this potential move lower towards this 1.3240. It could get a hold up here together. It could be supported by the 21-day EMA as well, and then yes, a nice push back up here could be possible. If you're more on the cautious side, wait for a push above this 1.3340 territory, and then we could consider some higher levels. So again, at the moment, guys, although we are seeing a bit of a correction here, still it's not really disappointing for the bulls yet. unless the rate starts falling below the 1.3180 territory right here. GBPUSD. GBPUSD is kind of drifting to the downside. The pair, yes, it did initially move towards this 1.2864 level this morning, so we had a nice test of this key support zone from where you can see that the pair rebounded and kind of made its way up again. However, at the moment the weakness is kicking in again, and let's see if this pair can actually drop back down, because for now the idea I'm going to stick to will be this seeing a possible move towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of May, and then of course if this upside line does provide a good hold up, then we could see a nice rebound and a push back to the upside. Now of course also keep your eyes on this 1.2864 zone, because if the pair decides not to travel all the way towards this upside line, maybe we'll have a nice reversal earlier, but in that case I would prefer to wait at least for a move back above the 1.30 zone in order to get a little bit more excited with higher levels. So yep guys, for now let's see how all this is going to play out, but at the moment it's a little bit nowhere, but again I'm leaning a little bit more to the downside, and let's see how today's candle is going to shape up. But yeah, let's see if we can actually get a move towards this upside line. For now I'll probably take a bit of a cautiously bearish approach on this one, and yep, I'll continue slowly targeting these areas right here. Euro-Aussie is drifting nicely to the downside. It's approaching this upside support line taken from the low of the 17th of September. So the big question, of course, will this area here together with the 200-day EMA, will all this provide a good hold up? If it can provide a good hold up, then yes, we could see a nice rebound and a push back up. So let me actually just adjust a few levels. So first of all, this highlighted area no longer valid. That was previously that I looked at, and now the main focus will be on this little area right here, the low of last week near the 1.6461 zone. A drop below this area right here could open the door towards a lower area. So basically this short-term uptrend would be violated, and yep, and then we could see this pair drifting maybe towards this 1.6340 zone or even below that. Now in terms of the upside, again, I would prefer to wait maybe for a push above this barrier right here, the 1.6686 level right here, marked by the high of last week. And then yes, I could then consider maybe some higher levels, but at the moment the big question here is, can this actually this upside support line provide a good hold up? If it can, great news for the buyers. We could see this one reversing back to the upside, but if you're more on the cautious side, wait for a push above this barrier right here, this 1.6686 level. And of course on the downside, keep your eyes on this this 1.6461 territory. Euro-USD, so this one continues to struggle with this 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. Of course I'll continue monitoring that, but if we get a nice drop below this and we get a drop below this lowest point of September near the 1.1612 territory, now this is where the whole beauty for the sellers could come in, because such a move here would confirm, such a break here would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, in a way further declines could be possible, especially if the daily candle remains below this hurdle. And if it doesn't, then well, we will get ourselves again as another false breakout, and basically kind of this, then we'll have to just take it from there, because if you want to look at some higher levels again, at least in the near term, maybe we could consider this level, the 1.1696 level, which previously, as you know, acted as a very nice area of support. Now it could provide a good resistance, so a nice good pop above this would mean that maybe the bulls are really getting all together again and basically trying to lift this one higher. But again, let's not rush into anything yet. yet. First, let's see what it wants to do with this 100-day EMA showing us the green line, and if it does overcome it, then can it actually drop below the 1.1612 territory right here? If it can, this could be great news for the sellers. So guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time. I really do, guys. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my traders espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.